I'm making a manga, and if you don't know what that is, I'll quickly inform you, so don't worry. Manga are Japanese comic books, normally read from right to left. They have some amazing expressive art and stories across many different genres. That is probably the most simple way I can explain it. If you still don't understand, you can search it up. You may now ask, why am I deciding to make a manga? And I could sit here all day and explain away and away and away, but you guys don't want to listen to that, so let me tell you the simple reason. I just thought of a cool idea. So welcome along to this 3-part series where you guys will follow my journey of making my very own manga series and actually publishing it for you guys to read.
Section 1, Inspiration. I decided to pick some of my favorite animes, mangas, shows, movies, and just inspire off of them. Now, before you get confused, there's a difference between inspiration and copying. See, when we copy something, we replicate it with no unique innovation or ideas added onto it. In contrast, when we are inspired by something, we take an idea and we build on it. We make it our own. We add our own creative innovation and differences to it that makes it a completely new idea. So now that you won't be confused, let's go through my inspiration for my manga. Shonen genre. Shonen anime is well known to have a main character with large dreams and motivations. We follow them along their journey like we're there with them. Popular examples of this would be One Piece, Naruto, and My Hero Academia. The target for shonen is mostly younger males by using tropes and characters that interest their demographic. I really enjoy the shonen genre, mostly for its use of powers and dreams. I think it will align perfectly for what I'm aiming to achieve with my manga.
I'm not gonna make it. You're gonna have to go on without me.
The Truman Show. A movie released in 1998 wouldn't normally be the source of inspiration for most manga. But something about The Truman Show really clicked with me. Following along with Truman, finding out about the show, and all of the precautions taken to prevent him, really just show how strong the power of media and demand is getting. And this was the perfect point of interest that I wanted to follow with my manga.
Damn you! You traitors!
Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is a household name by now, seeing as at one point it was the largest anime in the world. And its concept is at such a unique standpoint that everyone was so interested to see what will happen next within the story. I decided to largely study the manga for inspiration, because I enjoyed Isayama's storytelling with Eden, and how well hidden villains were executed throughout the story. This gave me a perfect reason to take inspiration from Attack on Titan for my manga.
For President Snow. You can torture us and bomb us and burn our districts to the ground. But do you see that? Fire is catching. And if we burn, you burn with us.
The Hunger Games. You all are probably familiar with the concept of the Hunger Games, but just in case, the Hunger Games is an annual gladiatorial contest in which one boy and one girl from each of Panem's 12 districts must fight to the death. A very interesting story to follow, especially through its beautiful movie visuals and characters. I was especially inspired by the reason for the Hunger Games, because the purpose of the Hunger Games is to provide the capital with entertainment, and also remind the districts of the capital's power and their lack of forgiveness and remorse for their failed rebellion by their ancestors. I messed up the word rebellion. You didn't notice that. Just keep going. Just next part of the Hunger Games inspired my manga. Next part of the video. So section 2 is the idea. With all the inspiration and everything else taken in for account, we can finally come up with the greatest idea anyone has ever heard of. That might not be true, but anyway. When I was thinking of what type of manga I want to create, the first thing and one of the only things I could think of is unique. Now that may sound crazy, but I just wanted a unique idea. I wanted to make sure it's something no one else has ever done, nor heard of. I sadly couldn't really do that because the idea might have been done, but from what I know of and from what I have ever read, I think it is pretty unique compared to other mangas. I still stuck to the traditional shonen ways of the characters' development and powers, but the idea itself is quite new to the genre. So let's go through the idea, but keep in mind, you will have to listen or you'll be very lost. Characters of interest. The starting place of the story with all the characters in it will be in a small city in a forest around Viking era technology, so they'll be pretty advanced but not advanced enough for modern technology. This is the place where the main characters will come from and where most of the characters that you hear about will be from. There will be 4 characters of interest. Now this doesn't mean that there's only 4 characters, this means there's only 4 characters that you will probably only hear about for now. Their names will be Akito, Marilyn, Hakari and Passion. Akito will be the main character. Marilyn will be Akito's closest friend and maybe love interest. I'm not gonna spoil it, but maybe. Passion will be Akito's challenger. I didn't really know how else to describe him, but he's gonna be the reason Akito really wants to be stronger and really pushes himself, you know, to stick to shonen tradition. Then we have Hakari. I'm not gonna say much about Hakari because I love him. He is my favorite so far. So let's just say he's him. Now let's go to the structure. The way I'm making my manga is already quite different from the traditional way, so I might as well keep breaking tradition and kind of change up the structure. This manga that I'm publishing will be volume 0. Now, if you're confused what that means that this story will have relevancy to the main story, but will be the predecessor, and Akito isn't actually the main character, it's kind of just the start. If you guys really do enjoy this and really want to see more of the series, I'm completely fine with continuing, but it will be a distant story after volume 0, but volume 0 will still play a part, so don't worry, what you're reading is still going to be important. For the first quarter of volume 0, I'm going to make it an introduction into their world and a bit of a tournament training arc that's going to be cut short by the following story. Now you may be wondering, what is the following story? This part was kind of tough to write because how am I going to explain it to you guys without spoiling the whole entire manga? I'm giving you guys no reason to read it. So I've tried my best. So here it goes. You're going to be following a civilization who is stuck inside of a dome. They do not know they are inside of this dome, and I will not be telling you how they find out, but they do. That is where this story comes from. The person who made this dome will be the main antagonist. I can tell you that much. The main antagonist will be the creator of the dome. You guys will find out the rest by reading, so make sure you read if you're enjoying this so far. But what I will tell you though is it does include powers. How do the powers happen? I'll keep that secret for now. The point of this manga volume 0 is to mostly explain the first escapee from the dome. Now, this brings me to the title of the manga. I went through many different types of titles. I even wanted to just call it Akito, but that didn't really make sense. So the way I got it is I got into a call with 2 of my friends, Humberto and Yaris, and we started yapping about what I could call the title. We then opened ChatGPT and started making fun of the ideas ChatGPT was giving us. Then we got something the dome. I was like, oh, the dome has a ring to it. Then we came up with, drum roll please, Beyond the Dome. Now it may sound corny, but I can't lie, that is a hard name. Like imagine reading or even in the future watching an anime called Beyond the Dome. You get it? Cause Akito wants to go beyond the dome. And that's like the point of the story. Lock in. See, you guys know, right? Right? It's cool, right? It's pretty cool. Just go to section 3 already. Section 3 and the final section for today's video is the actual writing. When I first started writing my manga, I assumed there was a set way that you have to write it. But I quickly learned there's not much rules outside of your own. So I tried many different techniques when writing this manga, and my favorite one was writing it like a movie script. And I also wrote it in as much detail as possible, so I shouldn't confuse myself when I'm drawing it later. Talking about drawing, a little tip I taught myself was to storyboard the manga panels while I'm writing, so I know where the characters will be speaking and moving. My plan is to make the manga 220 pages long. That's around 8 chapters. I do actually plan to make it a hard copy book, so you guys can buy it. The next episode of the series will be the drawing and designing characters. You can see me do it live on Twitch if you're interested, or you can wait around a month or 2 to see the actual video come out. Making it an actual physical manga will probably take quite a long time, so if you're trying to stay up to date, you can follow the Beyond the Dome Twitter. It's an official account and I'll try keep you guys updated. Okay. Did I just hear you counting the takes? Okay, the more What is that again?
냐? 이치니, 시안, 냐? 아리가또.
I ain't keeping that in the video.